Just a minute. Parker! I am making a video. I am making a video. Why are you barking at everybody? Chill. Hi guys. Updates. We are out of eggs and milk and fresh produce, and I did not know how much I could possibly miss eggs. Not just eating them, but I do miss that. But the baking and the cooking. Yesterday I tried a trick I saw online where you can replace eggs with a teaspoon of baking soda and a tablespoon of vinegar mixed together to get the reaction before you put it in the brownie mix. This is how that turned out. And it was edible? Kind of. It didn't taste right, but we ate it anyway. We still have a lot of canned fruit, canned vegetables, some meat in the freezer, a lot of dry rice and oats. So like, we're not gonna starve, but we are getting a little creative and a little bored with our food options. We are watching the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. We watched the first one 2 nights ago, and we watched the second and third ones last night, and tonight's going to be the fourth one. We are having popcorn on a daily basis because that's one of the few snacks that we have left, and Neil is really good at making it on the stovetop, so that's just become our new night routine. How do you bake without eggs? Today I'm going to attempt to make cookies without eggs, just basic cookies. But instead of eggs, I'll be using fruit preserves, because with cookies you don't need much rising, you just need like the binding, and the pectin in fruit preserves is supposed to work as a binder in replacement of eggs. I don't know. I saw it on a lot of websites, so I'm going to try it. Dry ingredients. We have a cup of gluten-free flour, a ½ teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger, and a pinch of salt. For the beginning of our wet ingredients, we have a ½ stick of butter, beaten up into a smooth, creamy consistency, and we're going to add a 1/3 cup of sugar to that. Now, this is where we deviate. So I actually found a recipe that is for jam cookies, because I thought, hey, that'll give us a good head start. But it still calls for 1 egg to be added at this point. I read online that you can replace 1 egg with a 1/4 cup of preserves. Now, we're also cheating a little because I have the recipe for this test run, which means instead of the 1/4 cup of preserves, we're going to put ½ of a 1/4 cup of preserves in here. However, the recipe also calls for a full 1/4 cup of preserves, so the other ½ of the 1/4 cup will go in later. We're using my Walmart peach preserves because I bought these for a baking experiment over a year ago and forgot about them, so they expired already. I'm sure they're fine, but if we're going to use something in a potentially going wrong experiment, it might as well be the expired Walmart brand. New plan! The Walmart peach preserves smelled terrible. I'm not putting those in my body. Instead, we're using lingonberry jam from IKEA. Funny story, I bought this once and wanted to make tarts with it, but I bought the peach stuff for a test run, which I never got around to. These expired in November. Shh, nobody knows. They smell fine, so we're going to use these instead. Our mix doesn't look quite satiny, as the recipe describes with the egg, but it does look like a promising base for delicious pink lingonberry cookies. We're going to add a tablespoon of water, because we have no milk, and a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. Now we're going to add the rest of our lingonberry preserves and our dry ingredients that we whisked up earlier. Ta-da! Our dough is very thick, but that's what the recipe says to expect. We're going to use my trusty cookie scoop and roll them in some sugar before placing them on the baking sheet. They're ready. We're going to throw these in the oven at 375 degrees for 10 minutes. They look like real cookies. They smell like real cookies. They're making some sort of weird crackly sound. I don't know if that's the sugar on the pan, but I'm excited. The verdict. They actually just taste like soft sugar cookies. I am both really happy that using preserves in place of egg actually worked so well, and also a little disappointed they don't taste like lingonberry. Neil's still taking classes online and doing all of his homework and all of that. The factory has officially furloughed everyone, so they're continuing the closure, and they have been getting paid, but the end of this week is the end of the pay. So this weekend, Neil and everyone else from the factory will be filing for unemployment this weekend. It looks like it's a little more complicated for people who are furloughed than people who have been completely laid off, but we're going to make it happen. And it looks like he's going to have to like refile or submit a claim or voucher or whatever every week. We're figuring it out. Our spending is a little lower considering we're going to the grocery store about once every 6 weeks and have nothing to do. So kind of hard to be like out buying movie tickets and stuff when there are no movies to see. So yeah, my breakfast now is dry corn checks and canned fruit, cold from the fridge. The snacks and sweets that we're struggling with, which I know technically are like not necessary, but when you are stuck inside all of the time, getting cabin fever and antsy and getting very tired of all the normal hobby stuff, because when you have endless time to read books and play video games, eventually they get kind of old. So snacks are very important and we're running low on those, but we still have one chocolate bar. I still do have some baking mixes, so I might try other like egg alternative things. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And we've got popcorn. We're fine as long as we have popcorn. In theory. Bye, Mom and Dad. Bye, Tony and Brian. Bye, Grandma and Grandpa. See y'all another day.